Hey, this is Kamori, and welcome to part 1 in the tutorial series on how to use a sewing machine. Now, in this episode, we're going to go over the different parts of the machine. Every sewing machine is a little bit different, so I recommend that you have your manual nearby to cross-reference with this video. Sewing machines come with two main components. You have the base machine, and you have the foot pedal. The foot pedal controls the speed and also activates the sewing. It is a two-part cord. You have one part that goes to the foot pedal itself, and then the other part of the cord that is plugged into a power source, and the two pieces come together and are plugged into the machine. On the side of the machine, next to where the foot pedal plugs in, you have the on-off switch, and above you have the hand wheel. I've also heard it referred to as the hand crank, and this is a way to control the sewing by hand without using the foot pedal. On top of the machine, we have the spindle and the stop for winding the bobbin. We also have the spindle and a little guard for putting the spool on the top of the machine, and a handle for transportation. We also have this little knob for wrapping the thread around when filling up the bobbin, and we have the guidelines for threading the machine and the thread take-up lever. Most machines have either painted on or etched on arrows to help guide you when threading the machine to show you the direction the thread is supposed to go. On the front of the machine, we have a dial for choosing the stitch width. We have a dial for choosing the type of stitch. So for example, it's set to stitch 2, which is a zigzag stitch. And then here we have the dial for choosing the stitch length. And we also have a lever for making the machine sew in reverse. On the other side of the machine, we have a dial for the tension of the thread. Then, underneath, we have a screw for holding the needle in place, another screw that holds the base of the presser foot in place. We have an interchangeable foot. We have the feed dogs, which feed the fabric either forwards or backwards through the machine, depending on what type of stitch you're doing. Then we also have some diagrams that help keep your fabric in alignment. So for example, if you're using a 5/8 inch seam allowance, there's a 5/8 inch marking on here that you can line your fabric up to keep everything straight. Then underneath we have the place for the bobbin. Some machines have a detachable table. So for example, this component of the machine can come undone. And this is very helpful if you need to do something like an armhole or the ends of a sleeve. That way you can have the fabric go around the machine, and it makes it easier for sewing things that are a bit on the narrower side. The presser foot can be raised and lowered by a lever on the inside of the machine. On the other side, we have a dial that determines the amount of pressure on the presser foot. Then we have a thread cutter and a lever for doing buttonholes. And that was a quick overview into the parts of the sewing machine. For more cosplay sewing videos, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.